What do you have for us today, Yeong?
Well, did any of you learn how to paint water drops in art class back in grade school?
Water drops, is that a mandatory curriculum at Korean schools in art class?
I definitely remember drawing them.
Okay, because I can't recall from back in the days in Germany, but I mean, I wasn't really good at painting. I liked to watch others do it. What about you, Walter?
Stickman, that's all I could do. Yeah, not me.
Well, there's an artist who spent over 50 years mastering the theme of water drops, and his name is Kim Tschang-Yeul, and he's also known as the water drop painter. And his works are now the focus of a major exhibition. They may look simple on the surface, but behind each drop, there's a story of Korean history, overcoming trauma, and the innate resilience of humanity. So let's take a look.
Crystal clear water drops glisten on a canvas. Deceptively simple, yet full of depth. Even the smallest drop has striking clarity, given that these are paintings. Now, a major retrospective is shedding light on the life and art of the late Kim Tschang-Yeul, the so-called water drop painter, who devoted over 50 years to this singular motif. It's more than just paint on canvas. Each water drop by Kim Tschang-Yeul is a reflection of history, trauma, and resilience. And this exhibition brings his vision full circle. Though Kim is best remembered for the water drops he painted from the early 1970s until his passing in 2021, his artistic journey stretches further back. His earliest works, marked by bold brushstrokes, embodied the scars of war. These harsh yet formative wounds became the source from which the water drops later emerged. After moving to New York, Kim endured years of inner turmoil. Dissatisfied with much of his output, he kept these works from public view. His canvases shifted toward geometric abstraction, gradually evolving into the form of a drop. In 1971, water drops appeared in his work for the very first time, and two pioneering pieces were unveiled in this exhibition.
The water drops, in fact, carry the meaning of mourning the dead, those lost to war.
Kim Tschang-Yeul lost 60 of his 120 middle school classmates during the Korean War, and he came to think of the drops as bullet wounds in flesh. Beyond archival works and early experiments, visitors can follow Kim's meticulous process through sketches and working notes.
Being able to see what the artist intended in each period, along with his sketches and working methods, was really insightful for me.
This retrospective is a journey through history and healing, which is crystallized in the luminous drops that defined Kim Tschang-Yeul's life's work. The exhibition runs through December 21st at the Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art in Seoul.
So Yeong, how did Kim's water drops actually change over the years?
Well, they weren't always the serene, crystal clear drops that we just saw in my report. The water drops can be read in so many ways, actually. So back in the early 1970s, they were often seen as symbols of cleansing or even as sweat, tears, or bodily fluids. And his work deepened and his drops took on more meditative meaning. They became a reminder that just like water eventually evaporates, life too eventually returns to nature. And toward the later years, the drops also carried a sense of mourning, honoring those lost during the war.
It's very meaningful, actually, when you just think about water drops. I mostly just think about water. But anyway, if I am visiting, are there any pieces that I shouldn't miss out on?
Yes, the New York period abstractions are being showed properly for the first time. And this is quite lucky for us because, like I mentioned in the report, Kim himself kept those tucked away. And you'll also find Il pleut, or It Rains, which is a cornerstone of his work. And while people used to cite What Happened at Night from 1972 as his first water drop painting, this show actually reveals two even earlier works from 1971, his very first transparent drops. So I think all three of those water drops are definitely worth a closer look.
And thank you, Yeong, for getting us quite close to these masterpieces with your report, and see you next time.
Thank you, Yeong.
And thank you again for having me.